Now, the next question is a video. It's from Milo ACCUSES in Miami.
Hey, Dr. Peterson, it's Milo ACCUSES. You talk a good game.
Isn't Milo the guy who's on a few of the Steven Crowder videos that we've done? Yeah, I believe that's Milo. There's not too many Milos out there. Okay, here we go.
Nice. Hey, Dr. Peterson, it's Milo ACCUSES. You talk a good game about standing up for men and for boys, and you've certainly amassed a big army of them. But a few of us have been wondering recently, with your silence on Kavanaugh, your silence on the innocent Covington boys, and then when you've said things like, for instance, when you told the New York Times' Barry Weiss that you thought I might be a racist when you know I'm not, that perhaps your actions aren't matching your words. Can you explain why, although you talk a good game about standing up against social justice warriors and the chaotic feminine, that when it actually comes down to it, you always seem to either fold, stay silent, or betray your allies?
Wow. Did he drop a mic on Jordan Peterson just now? Huh? Because he seemed like he's serious. Now Jordan Peterson will have to stand up and shut him down. And I already know he about to. So Milo, you just now wrote a check that your ass can't cash. Because guess what's about to happen? You about to feel that Jordan B. Peterson blast from the past, bruh. That's what you about to do. I got 2 of his books. I don't have 2 of your books. That means absolutely nothing to this argument. But something's about to happen. Oh, and if y'all like this style of content, please do me a favor, hit the subscribe button and also the notification bell so that when we do release new content, you are the first to be notified.
Jordan, is that live?
Haven't seen Milo for quite a long time.
It's like the intruder on Q&A.
Well, first of all, I don't believe that I'm obliged to comment on absolutely everything that happens everywhere in the world. And I don't think that I am betraying my fundamental base with regards to what happened with Barry and Milo. Milo, I'd probably just as soon apologize to you for that. I don't think that I did defend you very well at that particular time. I don't believe that you're a racist. It was a question that caught me off guard in an audience that was exceptionally hostile and surreal. And so insofar as that might be helpful to you, I'd offer you an apology for that.
Which one is he are they talking about? I'm assuming that there was a program somewhere, there was a panel somewhere. You guys know the video that he's talking about. I would love to check that one out. Okay.
And so insofar as that might be helpful to you, I'd offer you an apology for that. I don't think the rest of your accusations are warranted, however. So that's what I'd like to say.
Do you see...
I did, by the way, also, Milo, invite you to talk, about a year and a half ago when things first started to collapse around you. And we never did get around to that. And I don't believe that that was entirely my fault.
We're not going to hear back from him.
Oh, man. Sips water. Huh? He know what he was doing right there. That right there was a Jordan B. Peterson mic drop. He was letting you know, bruh, I invited you to come talk to me a year and a half ago. I ain't want no smoke. I just want to have a conversation. But that wasn't entirely my fault, bruh. It was your fault that we ain't talk. It was you that was ducking the calls. It was you who didn't respond. It was you who didn't want to get on the schedule. It was you who was so busy that you didn't want to talk. But now all of a sudden, from far and wide, somebody recording you sending the recording, you want some smoke all of a sudden. All because I didn't take up for you? Come on, bro, don't be salty. Come talk to me like a man, bro. I tried to set it up. You ain't want it. Why didn't you want it? Huh? What's your beef with me? Not me. I'm speaking as Jordan Peterson. All right.
Never did get around to that, and I don't believe that that was entirely my fault.
We're not going to hear back from him. In fact, just video, but nonetheless. Do you see him and people like him as being in some sort of competition online for the hearts and minds of young men in particular? Because he obviously sees it as a competition.
Well, I don't really see that I'm in competition with anybody particularly. I'm not trying to be in competition with anybody. And I'm also, by the way, not trying to talk to young men. I mean, one of the things, not specifically, I mean, I'm perfectly happy to be doing that. And by the way, they're not all that young. I think the average age is somewhere near 35. I'm trying to talk to people. And like as a university professor, 80% of my students approximately were women, and that was the case for 30 years. And at least 50% of my colleagues have been women. And there's been this idea generated in the news by news people who keep reading the news that other news people create, that somehow I have a coterie of angry young white men surrounding me because they're angry about feminism and about all these other isms, let's say. And I don't see it like that at all. I'm trying to suggest to people that their best bet in life, and this is men and women alike, is to adopt as much responsibility as they can for their own lives. And I went through this already because that's where the meaning in life is to be found. And the notion that that's somehow a message that's limited to young men it's an absurd message. Okay. Why would that be limited?
That's a good question. Why would it be limited? Because he's talking about something that everybody should be able to take on and add to their lives. I'm telling you to adopt some responsibility for what you do so that you can be a better person. And then when you're a better person, not only will you be appreciative of the new you every single time you look in that mirror, and now you're seeing that, yeah, this productivity is actually starting to come to fruition. I like what I'm looking at. I like how I feel. I like how other people respond to me now because I'm doing the things that I'm doing, some of the things, or at least I'm attempting to do a little better than I did yesterday. And it looks good on me, and I'm appreciative of it. And how that falls on the minds of, or just on the laps of only men, or young men mostly, according to Milo, or according to his demographics now, because his demographics do show that far more men support him than women. And that's why some of the people who he go on interviews with and he end up being in debates with, and they're talking about equality between men and women, especially the pay gap. They always point out that his following are hugely men. And he's saying, look, I just give out information that's for everyone. Like, everyone can pick up some value from this. But it just so happens to be the men who are tagging on a little more than anybody else. But Milo, I will say this to you. Great job, or giving him that bit of that nice sturdy direct question, just to put him on the spot in front of the panel, just so he can answer that. But it was a bit accusatory. It was probably not all the way true, and you might have played yourself a little bit. You very well might have played yourself. I would suggest, if you haven't already, that you go and talk to this man. And I will be looking around to see if there's any conversations between Milo and Jordan Peterson, to see if they already had this conversation. Because nobody should be competing for an audience of anyone. What we should be doing is just trying to get a message out there that could be impactful for everyone. Period. Whether he does it, you do it, someone else does it, as long as it gets done, that's what we should be happy about. Because if we're competing for it, then that shows that it's a little bit more about us. It's a little bit more about our end goal, the game that we're playing. Are we just trying to win something? Is it financial for us? Who's really being organic and authentic? I love the level of transparency that's coming from everyone. To be honest with you, I think that's necessary. I think it's needed. I think it should be required in order to be a figure who's respected enough to lead the charge and guiding anyone to doing anything with their lives. But at the end of the day, when we start to go at one another's neck, we become counterproductive. That's simply my opinion. Might not be you all's, but guess what? We all have opinions. I want to hear what you all have to say about this in the comments below. And if you have yet to hit that subscribe button, please make sure you do so on your way out the door. Once again, guys, I am Van, and now we are all the LFR family. And I look forward to seeing you on the next video, and hopefully inside of the Patreon as well. You all have been amazing, per usual. Love y'all. Bye.